Hi, I'm Trisha Gibson. Welcome to Choosing Recovery. We film this show monthly to discuss the multidimensional problems of addiction that we face in the communities here in Ohio and around the region. Today I have a special guest with me, Amanda Brumfield, and I'll just let her begin introducing herself today.
Hi, my name's Amanda, and I work as a therapist at Woodland Centers. And I guess more importantly is I have a sister who has suffered addiction for 15 years. She's in recovery now. She's doing very well.
Great, great. I mean, Amanda, we really wanted to have you on today just to express the family side of it and really kind of explain to viewers in the community what it's like having someone in your family that's had problems with addiction. What was it like for your family going through your sister's addiction?
I guess starting early on, I'm a lot older than she is. So I was the crappy older sister that was always turning her in for going to a party that she wasn't supposed to be at, or and things like that. So it caused a lot of harsh feelings, a lot of disconnect. Part of it was the age, but part of it was me always, I guess, ratting her out.
Okay. So what do you look for? What can families look for to know that, hey, my family member might be using substances or drinking alcohol? What were some signs you saw?
Well, I didn't live in the home at the time. I had already moved out, and I got word that she was at these parties that were either unsupervised. She started using when she was 15. So, I would hear like, yeah, your sister was here or there or doing this or that. So first it was word of mouth. And at first you think it's just, kid stuff. Mm-hmm. But then, I guess my mom would tell you that, a lot of mood swings, changes, irritability, things like that. Okay. Things come up missing.
Okay, all right.
So.
What's some concerns or fears that family members face when their loved ones using substances?
Overdose, death, that you're going to lose, a person that's important to you. Other fears come along as well. Things like, is she going to be permanently disabled? It's going to affect her mental health for the rest of her life? Is she, at some points you lose hope. Mm-hmm. You don't think there's going to be a good ending. Okay.
So a lot of fear. I mean, I couldn't imagine.
A lot of fear.
And how did other family members handle it?
I think we go through waves. It's sometimes it's fear, sometimes there's a disconnect, and it's like you almost feel cold and harsh, and then you may even be accused of not caring because you have to deal with it in some way. Mm-hmm. But at other times it's like you don't know what to do because you don't know if you're enabling. You don't know if, like she would get really manipulative at times because at first she would ask for money for things and nobody questioned it. Well, then once you know how bad it is, so it's like, okay, we're not going to give her money anymore. She's not going to get, cash. Well, then she would, what about a pack of cigarettes? Can I get $2 or $3? Well, then she would go to another family member, get $2 or $3. And so then it just really was, you had to check in with everybody at all the time, is it okay?
So you all have to be on the same page.
Have to be on the same page, try to deal with it in the same ways.
You mentioned the word enabling, and I think in the world of addiction counseling, that word gets thrown out quite a bit. What does that word mean to you or your family?
You don't know what to do. You don't know what's enabling and what's not enabling. You don't know if you're helping or hurting. Okay. You see the people around you suffering. You see, she got down to 95 pounds. She had 5 overdoses. Mm-hmm. You sit there and you think you're gonna lose her, and you want to help and you want to be there and you want to pull her out, and you can't. And So you don't know what to do and when to do it and how to do it.
So enabling might, in your case, might have been the fear that you're doing something to allow her to continue to use.
Yes.
And that's not something it sounds like you guys wanted to be a part of, and many families don't want to be a part of. They just want their family member to get the help that they need. What advice can you give people they might be dealing with addiction in their family about the topic of enabling? Is there anything they shouldn't do or anything they should do? How can we help there?
I think every family is different. I think for one may not be the same as the other, but I know for us, like I said, we had to be on the same page. If there was something she needed diapers for her son, I would call my dad and say, okay, she's needing diapers for her son. Do you know, is how's she doing right now? Is she on a good stretch or a bad stretch? Is, do I need to go to the store, buy the diapers, and hand her the diapers? But you had to watch with that too, because she constantly looked for things to pawn and return to the store.
So it sounds like communication is a main thing. Everyone in the family is on the same page. Don't give them money. If they need something, you buy that physical item.
Yeah, that's what I did for the most part. If I did want to get her a pack of cigarettes, then I would go to the store and buy the pack of cigarettes myself. I rarely gave any money out, and I kept my doors locked on my car. I would be over at my parents' house or something, and I would make sure that I locked the doors. So,
tell me what overdose was like for your family.
Oh, that's a rough one. She overdosed 5 times. The first time that there was an overdose, I don't know. It's scary. It's scary. I think the one that got to me the most, I guess, was I sat and watched her on the CCU on a ventilator, and I mean, she wasn't conscious. At one point, she was in a coma, and it's like, this is it. This is real. This is what's got her. This is what's taken her. So, and it's and then to see her go right back and use after. And I know the last overdose she had, I got a call from her dealer that she had overdosed. I had to sit in the ER with her dealer. So there was a lot of anger, but I did it, and they couldn't keep her breathing. They had to give her 6 Narcan shots. It was really rough.
It sounds like it can be really traumatic for families. Very
traumatic. And to see the people even around you, like how mom and dad would react, and I've seen mom where, again, it's like like sit in the ER and it appears like she doesn't care, but it's just how she's dealing with it, because she's thinking she's going to lose her daughter, that she could die at any time.
And I don't think anybody wants to imagine that.
No, it was rough. It was rough.
And then to see her go back out and continue to use.
Yes.
I mean, what do you think led to that, or what could have prevented it?
To the continued use, or
you
have to want it. It's a stage of change. It's you have to decide that that's what you want, no matter what. That you're going to do it, and she had to come to that on her own. And I guess that's what makes it so hard. It's because you want that for her, but you can't. She has to want it.
I imagine that's a really helpless feeling from a family perspective.
Absolutely. You feel completely helpless. And she's been in rehabs. And you think, okay, this is it. This is going to be it. And she comes out of rehab and does well for a while. And then it's like, yes, and you're on a good stretch. And then when it goes right back to it, it's
devastating, I imagine.
Yeah.
Very scary, very helpless.
Absolutely.
I mean, families are facing a lot when it comes to their loved ones using substances, drinking alcohol, and it sounds like they could use a lot of support. How did you and your family get through this?
We we started at Celebrate Recovery. We joined in as in the family support group. A lot of education there, you know, about which drugs do what, the effects that they have, and everybody supporting each other, sitting around the table saying, yeah, I'm going through this, and yeah, I haven't talked to my sister, daughter, son, you know, for days at a time, weeks at a time, and you don't know where they're at or what they're doing or what's happening to them.
And I imagine just knowing you're not alone. Like there's other families dealing with the same things.
There's a lot of other families dealing with the same things. Yeah. And so knowing that is there's power in numbers, I guess. Yeah. You know, there's and that's what really helped in the beginning. Okay.
I imagine it would give you and your family a sense of power back after feeling so helpless. Yes. Yeah. Understanding it, knowing why she's doing the things she's doing. I mean, she robbed me twice, and I called the law, and I made the reports, and you know, but knowing why she did it, why, understanding that it wasn't her, that drugs has stripped every good part of her away, and that wasn't my sister anymore. Yeah. That was something else. Is that how you kind of dealt with it? You didn't look at it as your sister, you looked at it as the addiction? Yeah, it's like, I didn't hate my sister, I loved my sister. Mm-hmm. I wanted her with me, and she's more important than any of the stuff. I mean, sure, I was angry. You know, it upset me, and I was very mad, but I learned to be mad at the addiction. I learned to be mad at what the drugs were doing to her, not her, because she is the strongest, most beautiful person I've ever met, inside and out. She's I admire her strength, mm-hmm. and to know that she's went through all that she's went through, and you know, and she's beating it. Yeah. She's very brave, so, very courageous. Yes, she is. So that's awesome. We're here talking with Amanda Brumfield. I'm Tricia Gibson, and this is Choosing Recovery. We'll be right back. I'm Tricia Gibson, back with Amanda Brumfield, and we're talking today about how addiction impacts families. We actually got a couple questions from our YouTube viewers. Is alcohol addiction worse than drug addiction, do you think? I know you didn't really have experience in your family, but maybe professionally. I did, actually. Okay. I did. I have an ex-husband who is alcoholic. He's not in recovery, and I've seen what it's really, to see what it does to my children. Mm-hmm. It's been devastating. I think that alcohol abuse can be worse, or addiction. It can be worse in a lot of ways. I think it depends what we're talking about. I think alcohol kills you slowly, mm-hmm. whereas, you know, Hillary's choice was heroin, and it's more of an immediate, you know, right. Like you never know what time's going to kill you. Yeah. I can't imagine, like, you've had your sister and your husband, and just, it's like you've had all sides of this happen. Yeah. It's, I can tell it's still very raw and very emotional. The things that my kids have had to go through, not so much me, with their dad. Mm-hmm. It's very hurtful to a lot of people, and it's still very raw because it's still actively going through it. You know, it's one thing to be able to look at my sister and be proud of her and see that she's alive and well, and that she's, you know, functioning, and that I'm getting her back. Mm-hmm. That's one thing.
but I don't have to deal with him anymore, but my kids do. And to see the way the alcohol is making him act and treat them, and it's
difficult.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's hurtful.
Is there any Al-Anon meetings locally? You mentioned Celebrate Recovery, but is there any meetings for family members who are struggling with addiction in their family?
Not that I know of. There could be.
Okay. I'm actually not familiar with any either. However, I would be happy to research that and leave some feedback on Facebook or on YouTube for that. Do you think that recovery is easier for women than men, or easier for men than women? Is there a gender factor there?
I would say it's each individual person.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's more about the people, places, things. It's more about we're really close. When I say we, my family, myself, my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brother, we're all very close, and we, you know, we have God, so it's our strength. Without God, I don't know where we would be. So having that support system and knowing that, I guess one of the things my sister says is if without the unconditional love of God and her family, she doesn't know if she would have came through it.
Absolutely.
So having that, I think, has been a big impact. People that don't have that support, and a lot of times are shunned, and
that kind of leads me to my next question. Stigma is a huge factor, and I think that in a lot of cases it prevents people from seeking treatment.
Oh yes.
What's your thoughts on stigma? What have you experienced?
My sister would tell us almost daily that she just wanted to die, and she had the weapon right there in her hand every day, and she could have done it. She could have committed suicide right then and there because she wanted to die, because she felt so guilty, and she felt like the community just...
I think people don't really understand, and that's really a goal of this show, is to educate people in the community of what addiction is and how we can come together.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of times it's just being nice. Just knowing that a person goes through something, and when they're on their way to getting better, it doesn't help to point fingers, and it doesn't help to lay blame. You know, you support that person. You know, Hillary has a job. She had nurses that came in and just in her job, and tried to make a report on her that she was using, and when she wasn't. So it's understanding that she still has emotions, and you know, she's still, you know, gets upset.
Still a person. Always been a person.
Yeah, it's, you know, human being.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see how community members. I've had people tell me that she's possessed by demons. I've heard people tell me that she should have died because she did have Narcan, and that she shouldn't have got it. I guess when we stop seeing people as a human being, and we start caring more about stuff and things, and that bothers me. It bothers me, because I would give anything. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
So.
The last show we had, we talked with Guy County Sheriff Matt Champlin about Narcan and how controversial it is. And he very much said, I support Narcan. That's someone's brother, sister, mother, father. This is like what we were talking about last month. Exactly. Like, you love your sister. She's a human being. Yes. You would want to save her life if you could.
Absolutely. I'd do anything. I would give, you know, I'd give my life just to make sure that she had hers. I mean, she's a mother. Her kids love her, you know. Her family loves her. Right. And battling this has really been It's been something, and I guess the hardest part is seeing how people, like, they're going to catch something, like it's, like it's, I don't know, like a cold or something, and don't get too close, because.
How's it been for your family? Have you experienced any stigma attached to addiction? Has your family been treated differently or anything like that?
Some. The people that do know, I guess I caution saying anything about, like, I just think that people don't understand, and I know her kids specifically have been targeted, and that's, I mean, how's that fair? Yeah. How's that right? It's very upsetting, and
Okay. It's very difficult.
Yes.
What would you most like people in the community to know about addiction?
That there's not one person who says, I want to grow up to be an addict. There's not one person that says, I want to do this and I want to become an addict. I don't know of anybody that wants to be addicted. Not one. Mm-hmm. And as much torture as a family goes through, and trauma, and it's a horrible thing, and people don't need to lay blame and point fingers, and that doesn't help. It makes it worse.
You have enough going on and enough to deal with.
Yes. It's, I guess there's help out there. There's hope. There's, there's things that people can do to overcome this. There's success stories.
In a perfect world, how do you envision people handling addiction?
It's a difficult question, and there's no easy answer. Addiction's not going to just disappear. There's no magic pill. I mean, I wish there was.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's the fix. Here's the. But if we can support people the best we can, in the roles we have, I don't even ask anybody to go out of their way. If we could just be nice,
Mm-hmm.
Be polite to each other, just as far as there is help out there. There's help out there, and a person does have to be ready, and I think that's the hardest thing, mm-hmm. is because you want to give that to them. But knowing that you're there whenever they are ready, and you have some answers to give, I guess would be the.
Where can people go around here to get help? What would be some suggestions?
Well, Woodland Centers, but we have HRS and FACS, and is it a TASC?
TASC, yes.
It's TASC.
Yes.
We have Celebrate Recovery, Benton Baptist, Field of Hope.
When is Celebrate Recovery meetings, and can you give more clear directions of where that is?
That is on 160 going towards Benton. It's Monday nights.
Okay.
I think around 6.
Okay.
I think it's 6 p.m.
And Celebrate Recovery also has a website. I believe it's celebraterecovery.org. And you can go there to search for meetings locally in your community. And my understanding, that's a Christian faith-based organization, and it goes by 12 steps, sort of like AA/NA meetings. Yes. But it's not just for people that use it; it's for family as well.
I know in the past they've had meetings for families. I don't know if the demand's there right now. I'm not sure that they're offering that currently.
Okay. Okay. There's also Al-Anon meetings. You can look those up online too in your community. And those are specifically for family members of people that struggle with addiction. Your sister is one of the success stories. And I think that you have been very brave. I think that your family has been very brave in tackling this all together as one unit and coming together and being all on the same page and communicating. And I just want to applaud you for today and for helping to educate the community on what it's like from a family member's perspective.
Thank you.
What do you think your sister or anyone in your family might want to say? What do you think people might want to know about addiction?
I'm not sure. She's got a strength that's unbelievable. I can't even explain. She would say that with God, she gives everything to God. But with God, that she's, you know, she doesn't. I think I have a harder time with things that the community says and does, like members. I'm the one that gets a little, I guess, upset. She is very calm, and she says they don't understand, and they won't, and hopefully they never will understand. So, you know, that there's people out there going through the same thing, and
it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, and it can happen to anybody across all.
All right, I'm Tricia Gibson. We had Amanda Brumfield on today. Thank you so much for watching.